physical attention from older men makes me feel validated.
I'm empty inside.
Oh, Uncle Danny.
All right. Did you ever want to know a bunch of stuff about laugh tracks and how they've changed for the last 70 years? If not, then why did you click this? Fucking leave. No, don't. I put a lot of work into it. So what we're going to talk about is 3 different things. We're going to talk about how laugh tracks started, the psychology of why they worked and why they work still to a degree, how they've changed, why I think they've stopped working, and the live audience factor. This is more than 3 things. I worked as a page/usher for a network, seating audiences for really small shows with like 50 people up to giant shows with up to 1,000 people. I picked up a couple things doing that, so I'm going to share my opinions on some of those things. How did laugh tracks start? Here's the creator of MASH for literally 1 second.
Laugh track, as we know, is a carryover from radio days.
So one really interesting thing I think about MASH is for their television run, depending on where they aired, they had a laugh track and sometimes they didn't. So if you watched in Europe, MASH did not have a laugh track. If you watched in America, they did. And one really cool thing about their DVDs is you can turn it on or off. So for instance, here I own the box set, and this is the option to turn off the laugh track. I've never seen that on a television show before. In the 1950s, the laugh track was used on a TV show for the first time called The Hank McCune Show on NBC, and this is what that looked like.
Thank you very much. Well, folks, those of you who follow the adventures of Hank McCune from week to week you've learned to expect some pretty weird things from our boy with the king-sized ears. Now, frankly, I don't know how this is going to end, but this is how it got started.
So that feels pretty poignant to me. We have a host on an empty soundstage and a cutaway to a previously recorded audience from God knows what or God knows when. We don't see them again during the show, but we hear them throughout the show, and this is what it sounded like.
Now listen, will you stop this stuff? Can't you see you're going to throw us all off our course? We'll be lost.
Oh, tut-tut, my boy, I know these waters like the palm of my hand.
Oh, yeah? Well, where are we then?
Right here.
It's probably just the season. It's been cold. I've been listening to Piano Man a lot lately, and it's really affecting my mental health. Okay, the psychology of laugh tracks. The psychology of laugh tracks. Laugh and the world laughs with you. There are a million articles about this, and that's kind of true. There are also a ton of studies about it. All right, these are the ones I'm going to be talking about specifically. This is a quote from Dr. Sophie Scott. We are 30 times more likely to laugh if there's someone else with us than if we are on our own, and we will laugh more if we know people, or if we know the people and we like them.
There's someone in this area, and I won't point you out, but every time you laugh, you look at the person next to you to check you've done the right thing, and I like that. Yeah, okay, cool. I don't know, it's more your thing than mine.
However, after the test, participants were asked to categorize the laughter as real or
yes!
fake.
Yes! Yes, you are hot! Smoking hot in your face!
82% accurate. So, from this article, test participants, or from this test, I should say, test participants were played genuine laughter and fake laughter, but were only told to react to the laughter without context. They found that there was no difference in how much the motor regions activated in response to the real and fake laughter. However, after the test, participants were asked to categorize the laughter as real or fake, which I think is so interesting, right? The average score for the test was 82% accurate in telling the difference between the two. The highest score was 93% accurate, and the lowest was 69% accurate. So even the worst scoring person in that test still more than half the time noticed when a laugh was fake or not. And that's what we see with applause signs and with people being told when to laugh, right? These are often forced laughter. And half the time, those laughs aren't even there. Those are just pre-recorded laughs put on top of the audience laughter to make it sound bigger. And you're going to hear from some warm-up comedians in a little bit that are going to talk about this, of how you can't necessarily, it's a marathon, right, with an audience, and you can't get them to laugh over and over again at the same jokes because we have to do multiple takes. Sitcoms tape for up to 5-6 hours usually. And I mean, when I worked on sitcoms, we would have people come in and be like, it's a 30-minute show. Why doesn't it take 30 minutes to film? Because it's not a play, right? They're working on jokes. They're changing things. They're going in between things. They're changing cameras. It takes a while. I watched some of the most popular sitcoms from every decade, from the 1950s up till 2019, and then a couple things from 2020, but we'll talk about that later. I chose episodes at random, and I timed the duration of each laugh in each episode and the number of laughs used per episode. And I'm going to throw some stuff into some charts, and I'll try to explain the charts, although I don't really think I need to explain the charts because I just kind of explained what I did. We'll see. Right, so this is what the chart looked like. We're going to talk about that in a minute after I show you clips from every single episode of every single television show I watched, and you're going to watch it too because, god damn it, I spent so much time doing it, and I didn't even like the shows. I don't even like them. I like some of them. There's a few good ones. But what I do want you to notice, I want you to notice a few things. I want you to notice the volume of the laughter. I want you to notice how abrupt the laughs start and how quickly they end. And I want you to notice a tone difference. It's like each show has their own little tonal change. And it depends on... I don't know. I don't know how to describe that. But you're going to notice that there's some shows with the volume of the laughter very close to the volume of the actors sometimes. And you're also going to see there's other shows with a much more subdued laugh track. And I think that's really interesting. Is it interesting? Is it? I don't know. Also, I can't play the theme song, so let's see what I decide to do while editing.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
This is my home, and when you come in here, treat me with respect and address me with a civil tongue.
Oh, why don't you shut up?
There once was a deputy called Fife who carried a gun and a knife. The gun was all dusty, the knife was all rusty, because he never caught a crook in his life. Now that's undermining the dignity of the law.
I'm not really sure how it goes.
Oh, forgive me, ex-master.
Yes, sir. Well, Doctor, you can understand.
You kicked a general?
No, I didn't, sir.
I'm working on a bomb.
What kind of bomb?
An unexploded bomb.
That kind of
Well, we're all in the mood for a melody.
Can we have fondue night?
No.
Not everybody likes fondue.
And you promised Jake. Little Jake. Poor old Jake. God, you're annoying.
Now John at the bar is a friend of mine.
Been to a bris before?
No.
I've been to a few of them. If you start to get woozy later, which is quite common, you know, stay close to me. I'll get you through it.
I'm a cardiologist. I think I'll manage.
His face. Well, I'm sure that I could be.
I wasn't sleeping.
Oh, yeah? Then what was Phoebe's song about?
Just the one with the cat.
Why is Jake eating pie in the bathroom?
Not now, not now. What are you talking about?
Jake can hear you two in bed.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
He didn't hear that.
Make me cry.
Your mom's a slut.
Yes.
Your mom's a slut. And I'm sorry, Barney, but you and your brother clearly have different fathers. And you know why? It's probably because your mom is a slutty slut.
Keep going.
Yes, there's shit.
I don't know, Kryptonian mustard. I think we can safely assume that all Kryptonian condiments were destroyed when the planet Krypton exploded.
Or it turned into mustard kryptonite, the only way to destroy a rogue Kryptonian hot dog threatening Earth.
Raj, please, let's stay serious here.
Bingo and Bango are locked and loaded.
Okay, toodles noodles. See you in the soup.
Okay.
Hey, football season's been over for a month now. Poor coach is getting a little nutty.
Yeah, he's proof that they don't drug test here.
Also, I was trying to do the laundry, but I think I need to get some industrial strength detergent. What's up with all the skid marks, Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
Wow, I think I have a class.
You guys like this show?
No. It's the worst show ever.
Good.
Did the bit work? I don't think the bit worked. Did I do a different bit? Did I change my mind? I don't like to talk so enthusiastically. How do these people talk so enthusiastically? I think it's interesting that we can see new trends emerge. New standards are created as we transition from the 80s to 90s. Two things happen. The number of jokes goes up. It skyrockets. The length of each laugh goes down per joke to accommodate the faster pace. And I think that's really, really important. So we're moving faster and we're taking less time for a transition in tone. At the same time, the runtime goes down from 26 minutes to 22 minutes. Cheers has 105 laughs and 4 minutes of laughter. Roseanne, 119 laughs and 5 minutes of laughter. Seinfeld happens. For 40 years, we sat around 100 laughs per episode per show. Seinfeld has 150 laughs. We see Big Bang Theory happen, and we hit a brand new standard. 173 laughs per episode. Mr. Iglesias has 247 laughs. It has 7 minutes of laughter. However, it has 29 minutes runtime. So if we do the math, we're still hitting the average of 7 laughs per minute. That's a laugh every, every 7 seconds, 8 seconds. But I just think that number is staggering. 247 times we hear a different laugh track start and end. So what does it mean? If we take that number of laughs per episode and divide by the runtime of that show, we end up with the laughs per minute, which looks like this. So most shows had about 4 laughs per minute. Then we hit 6 laughs per minute. Then we hit 8 laughs per minute. And then we kind of sit around a laugh every 7 seconds. That's a fucking lot. That's every 7 seconds for 22 minutes is a lot. If Schitt's Creek was made in the early 2000s, it would have had a laugh track. And there's a reason it doesn't. Fox didn't have a single multi-camera show or sitcom in 2019. CBS lives and dies by the multi-camera sitcom. Their Thursday night is Young Sheldon, which is not a multi-camera, which does not have a laugh track, which they had to fight for. They have United States of Al, they have Mom, and Be Positive. And then for some reason, they have Clarice, a Silence of a Lambs show, which is just tonally a 180, and it just makes no sense. I don't understand what they're thinking. It's worth pointing out that every single one of these shows, except for Clarice, is produced by Chuck Lorre. If you create The Big Bang Theory and 2.5 Men, and you just get to personally decide what CBS airs on a Thursday night. You just get to control a 2-hour block of programming, which is just insane. They're miserable. Audiences live and die by the warm-up. Here are some warm-ups talking about it.
It's my job to keep the 300 people that come in here tonight entertained for the 3, 4, maybe 5 hours it takes to shoot 21.5 minutes.
I was just at Costco the other day because I got that kind of money. And Costco...
And they think they're going to be here for a half an hour because
They
it's a
do.
half-hour sitcom.
And they're wrong.
You're having some fun tonight.
We're not watching television. We're making television, and you guys are much a part of this show as anybody else. We got microphones above you. We can hear every little sound you make. I mean, every little sound you make. So make sure you make the appropriate sounds, which tonight is going to be laughter and applause. Let me hear you guys nice and loud. So we got T-shirts to give away. That takes 3 or 4 hours. So I have a DJ with me playing music. We're handing candy out, giving them pizza, doing dance contests. And also, that's an actual story that has to be narrated. So I have to say, okay, guys, remember what happened in that last scene? What do you think is going to happen? And sometimes they'll do a scene 4, 5, 6 times in a row, and they'll change the jokes around. So I'll say, okay, guys, remember what was said there? They might tweak it a little bit and change it around. So look for the jokes, and we need you to laugh just as hard at the new jokes as you did with that joke. And
audiences have very little personal space. They legally are required to be fed by a meal from the show, which is usually half a turkey sandwich and some little candy or treat. The bathroom breaks are far and few between because the show usually just goes nonstop. They're usually freezing.
Are you cold? This is freezing in here. I'm holding on to this like a life raft. Oh my gosh. Hope you're warm and toasty and healthy everywhere you are out there, America.
The lights generate so much heat, and heat rises that it could start a fire if the sound stages aren't kept very cold. So if the audience members don't know to bring a jacket, they're screwed. Something else to be aware of is most audiences are broken up into 4 sections. Each have a microphone above them. I asked a sound engineer at a taping what they do if someone has a weird or disruptive laugh. He said they just kill the audio from the closest microphone and they pad it.
We have an audience that just looked a little sketchy. I couldn't put my finger on it. Not getting a lot of laughs, looking around. They furloughed a group from prison to come see the show. You have people in the audience that had killed their own fathers going, you know, that's not right.
Paid audience. They come in many shapes and sizes, on camera, off camera. For something like a sitcom, you almost always have off-camera audience, obviously, but you always have usually halfway houses or rehabs. So this warm-up seems to think he stumbled on some great coincidence of a halfway house in his audience on a show about prison. No, he's just never asked. He just doesn't know. They are always in audiences because it's an easy way to make money, to make minimum wage or sometimes a little bit more. The other people, tourists, we have unemployed actors, and we have charities or schools. People will volunteer their time, and the money earned from their ticket goes to a charity event. We have VIPs, which really just means they get to cut to the front of the line, and a lot of them are just kind of assholes. I have opinions on tell your guests. No, never mind. I take it back. I don't do this anymore. I don't need to talk about this. Then we have clappers. Clappers were not always used much. I think maybe I ran into clappers like on 3 different shows. They're a different breed of awful in my experience. They're hired directly by the show as background actors, and there's somehow always super entitled. They're somehow always super entitled and rude, and I swear I don't think I ever saw one of them actually clap or laugh.
Okay, Eddie Crumble, you're a clapper?
Yeah.
I mean, tell us how this works. So you get paid to clap?
Yeah, and laugh sometimes.
And when things aren't funny?
Sure, yeah. Like when they're supposed to be funny, but they're not.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
Stop making the pog face. This is my job. Okay, that's what you guys don't understand about this. I am working. I am clocked in. Okay? You know how I normally watch my TikToks? This is not a window into my life.
Let's also give it up for...
Bro, how the fuck do they have people like to watch this shit? It's very difficult to fucking fill an entire studio audience. Like, it's not easy. They have to pay sometimes. Like,
I am going to
holy
start
fuck,
with
there's a lot of
ladies
people.
first, okay?
And it's sort of like the barista who, you know, it has the green hair and the rings all over their face, like in their eyelid. And then you look at them like, what are you looking at? You, right? Because you decided to make yourself look like this because you wanted attention.
where are the jokes? Why? How is the audience laughing at this? Someone needs to figure out if there's a fucking gun in there. How? This is making me less funny by watching this, okay?
Here we are,
What a beautiful home, mashallah.
Yeah, mashallah.
It's so fucking bad, dude. It's so fucking bad.
So a lot of these shows don't have tickets. You can't get them. It's paid audience only for some of these. This would be a great example of a paid audience only. You cannot find tickets to this show anywhere on the internet, and I cannot find the company that seats them either, because the people that are even going to the show don't know what show they're going to until they arrive at the location. And they're being paid to laugh. They're being paid. He's like, why, how can these people laugh? They are paid to do it. This is their job, and they won't be asked to come back if they're noticed, to not be performing well. I'm going to show you an example of a non-genuine reaction from a paid audience during a Natasha Leggero special. What I assume happened here is the warm-up guy was very effective at warming up the audience and telling them, you need to laugh, you need to clap, we're here to support this comedian, and this is going to be her big break on TV, and you need to really just go all out. And then there wasn't somebody off stage correcting them or commanding them. So what happens on a lot of these shows is the warm-up or somebody will be there to lead the audience. If they start clapping, the audience sees them clap. If they, tell them to bring it down, we'll see all these commands from the movie Clapper and a couple other background videos.
But at the relax. At the beginning, when if we wanted something from our husbands, all we had to do was like twist our dimples and talk like a 3-year-old. Please, Mr. Sweetie, buy me a dress. And then if he didn't get you what you wanted, you just faint. Like, they were couches made just for fainting.
So as you can see from Natasha, though, the audience just destroys her rhythm. She's expecting the laughs and applause to be the same places that they were while she was working this set on tour before filming, and instead she ends up with these long, drawn-out, slow claps at her small punchlines and not her finishing punchline. She keeps like working up to the big laugh, which you would expect, but instead each small joke on the way to the end punchline is getting these long, drawn out, huge laughs, and she's waiting for them to stop, and they're not stopping. I've just been talking about actual audiences, their laughter, genuine or not, but what's an example of when the laugh track is actually used? And this is a great example from The Late Late Show. I was in the studio for this episode, and Corden had to do a 2.5-minute musical segment in one take. The first time he did it, he killed it, but he fumbled his words, just like I've fumbled all my words in this thing, which I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Anyways, Corden had to do a 2.5-minute musical segment in one take, and the first time he did it, he killed it, but he messed up at the very end. In the last 20 seconds, he fumbled. So it took 3 takes to get it to air, but then no one laughed by the third time that he did it flawlessly, or the laughs were very subdued, and you can't expect them to continue to laugh with the same energy each time because they've heard it. They've just done it over and over again. Another great example is season 10 of Taskmaster. They showed this reverse shot, and I almost missed it, and I'm so fucking glad I didn't. I'm like, holy shit, good eye. Anyways, the audience is gone for COVID, right? This was episode 7, I think. It was only used when a cast member laughed on stage.
You would sometimes look at a shrine of yourself by candlelight.
We've all been there.
Richard.
Who's watching? Maybe no one's watching me right now, but who's watching them? Also no one. So hits still get insane numbers, all things considered, but not compared to when they were at the peak back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, right? So, for instance, The final episode of MASH was watched by 106 million people. Seinfeld was watched by 76 million people for its finale. Then we get something like Big Bang Theory, which was a huge hit in today's standards, and it had 17 million people watch its finale. 2.5 Men had the highest paid actors on television at the time, and it had 13 million people watch its finale. So we're seeing a big disparity from 106 to 76 million down to 17 and 13 for like the top hits of the day ending, right? Is that a reflection of the quality of the shows today, or is it a reflection of people want different things from entertainment today because we have so many more competitors, right? So we have streaming, we have social media, we have TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, all of these things, and then we also have every single streaming service competing for our attention. There's something pretty similar happening between all of these things: CBS, Netflix, everything. And it's the demographics that they're chasing. The only people watching right now are families, parents trying to get their kids to spend time with them, older families, specifically from the South. And we can see just how blatant it is with Netflix. It's like super not hidden at all. Specifically, if we look at these shows, like you know who they're going after, and they launched their thing into, or their endeavor into, multi-camera sitcoms with The Ranch, and then now they have Country Comfort. They have something about the NASCAR. And then they have something starring like a WWE wrestler raising his family. They're also chasing other demographics, the Latin markets and also African-American markets, but not nearly as hard. If we look at what CBS is doing, these like all scream older middle America to me. I will say, I have so much to say about United States of Al. You would ask me, why do you have so much to say about United States of Al?
I've only been here one day, but I've also seen the mood swings and the drinking.
Hey!
When do you see your daughter?
I don't know. When her mother lets me.
I keep telling him to get his act together and do whatever it takes to get her back. Does he listen?
I bet he does not.
Dad, come on, man. Leave it alone.
All right, let me get you a beer.
Dad! What the hell, man? We talked about this. No alcohol.
Oh, right. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, your son should be sorry for talking to you with that tone of voice.
I like him. Come on, I made dinner.
Don't forget, you can't have pork.
Well, make up your mind. Are you Muslim or you Jewish?
Dad!
Calm down.
And this clown is miming the drum solo to Phil Collins' In the Air tonight.
Resolution. How do I end this? That's a really great question. Not by talking like that, apparently. Okay. Not by talking. Okay. We're just going to. How do I end this? Do I shit on network television about how things used to work and may no longer work? Yes, absolutely. I'm going to do that. Are you kidding me? That's what I've been doing this whole time. There is a common thread between network TV holding on to a gone era of television. A good example of that would be how once upon a time TV networks were at the forefront of pushing social boundaries and change in America by platforming shows like Family Matters and The Jeffersons and Dharma and Greg and a million other shows that pushed back on racially and morally divided country. But as we got more options, right, and more depth and nuance came into television, there's been a push to address more serious topics in shows like Modern Family, Transparent, Atlanta, shows that have large cultural impacts but don't rely on cheap laughs. Which isn't to say people don't want junk food shows, easily digestible, bright, funny, non-challenging entertainment, especially for people who may not have time to seek out entertainment that is most in line with their interest. And we'll see that. That's exactly what Netflix is doing, right? We'll see that. But while that's happening, they also want to do things like United States of Al, like have what would it be like to have a modern day Archie Bunker, dealing with xenophobia, right? Or dealing with culture clash of a Muslim man coming to the South and being friends with a Marine. Do we need to pander to them? Probably yes, because there's a ton of money when it works. What's my point? I used to love television. I loved that 70s show. Malcolm in the Middle, but that doesn't have a laugh track. Did I just grow out of it, or did it become less funny? I don't know. I really don't. Bye.